Kia ora. Welcome to the Lightroom forecast. This is the big one, really, isn't it? The sort of meat in the middle of the sandwich, for want of a better protein, between these two full moons in Aquarius. So this is the new moon in Leo. Reading for the collective. It is a very general reading. It won't resonate for everyone, obviously, but if it does, that's wonderful. So let's have a look. We're just doing things a little bit differently this time round. We're just looking at past, present, and future. We'll pull some cards to clarify, and then a few a few extra cards at the end. Yeah, definitely interesting times we are in still. So let's see. Oop. Wow. Yeah. So we come out with the star. We all know the star. We're looking here in the past position. And I guess in terms of doing tarot readings, I do think it's good to have specific spreads sometimes. And sometimes it's quite helpful just to do a free flow. Of course, they're both free flow, but a really interesting fellow on YouTube, John Ballantrae, very interesting, knowledgeable man, tarot reader, and educator. But yeah, I do believe his thing is that it is always good to ask questions. Why else would we be doing this? So I guess in the past, we have this beautiful healing card. It is an Aquarian card. It's a card of healing of those desires that wishes, desires, intentions. Actually, we hook into our own higher perspective or higher power, as it were. We really are a channel for life force in the star card. It's beautiful, it's enlightening, it's a baptism of sorts. It would indicate also that it is not without trial, this beautiful star in the Thoth deck. Current position, we have, the Eight of Swords. Yeah. Feeling limited, possibly restricted, but this is such a mind card. You know, the mind is the intellect, a wonderful sharp tool, but we can, and we often do, slay ourselves with it. And I guess that's the problem in today's world, is the intellect is God. You know, it is as useful as it is, or can be, destructive, self-destructive. You know, we do sort of cut ourselves with our own obsession with the mind, I guess. And with all these practices that are out there that bring us back into our body, our centre. Anyway, yeah. So we see this. You know, this channel, this baptism, this sort of going or entering a new threshold, from a period of trial, but we gain information here in the star, and it is a purification of sorts. And of course, the limitation, self-limitation, is in our own mind, whatever sort of circumstance, not marginalising anyone's difficulties in life, obviously, but we're talking here about the mind being the great restrictive slayer of ourselves, pretty much. Moving forward, amazing, wonderful. We get the universe. It is called, in the Thoth deck, we get the world card. Look, this is a whole new thing we're moving into, and I think everyone on the planet knows that this is the beginning of a whole new sort of phase, period of time. It would indicate at this time, that we've overcome some personal karmic difficulties, maybe. Learning the lessons along the way, which is the whole point of, well, some of the point of life, isn't it? But, you have to enjoy life as well. So it's interesting. Few cards here. We'll just sort of pull the layer back a wee bit here. Get a glimpse. We're using Morgan Greer to do this. We get a glimpse. We are talking about, mastering your own mind here. We get the Seven of Swords just popped out. This, often people talk about this as a deceptive card, and it is, but it's also, here we see in this particular deck, the figure running off with 5 swords. The 5 of Swords. Like, we disappoint ourselves in the 5 of Swords, but she has left 2 behind, with this idea that maybe I can come back. I know those 2 are there. I can come back and get those at another time, maybe. Anyway, that just popped out. Let's just shuffle them a bit more. So we're looking at the star. We're looking at star. Beautiful star, this card of baptism, of cleansing, of certain things showing themselves to us that if we choose to, go within, and just connect with our own, whatever you want to look at it, divine source. So we get the 2 of Wands. Yeah, we need to. We've needed to. There's a reason for this. We have just expanded our perspective on our own personal dominion, on our own personal authority, how we can use our will. We've been stretched like a great big rubber band. And in the stretching process, it's pushed us into this position, which is wonderful. We have the figure, seeing what resources they have, how they can use them, how they can sort of shift and change. How expansive and flexible can we be? Well, I think we can be pretty flexible, 8 of Swords, please. We all know self-limitation. We all understand that. And I guess at this new moon in Leo, you know, general feeling that I have had is, you know, really coming into the heart, really focusing on that, because there's too many other, there's just too much sort of information, misinformation, whatever information swirling around. Really need to come back and ground. Very important at this time. So with the, to clarify, the Eight of Swords, we get the King of Swords. Look, we have to really clean, you know, it's like I always think of the King, you know, as this sort of sweeping through and clearing and cleaning, though I guess the Knight is more of an active agent. Cleaning our own house, you know, letting the wind blow through, clean and clear it, clear the confusion, clear the you know, the sense of restriction, even though it might be all around us in front of our face. We have the power of our will, individually and collectively. Let's not forget that there is morphic resonance in this world, in this planet, on this planet, in this beautiful universe that we live in. What was I saying? I digress. Anyway, so yeah, we do a clean sweep. The king has really made it to his throne of complete and utter discernment, clarity, and knowing that he can, I do get a sense of slaying your own potential to slay yourself, actually. Like, give yourself a break, you know. Give yourself a break here. We have the sun on the bottom of the deck. Lovely Leo card. And now we come through and look at the universe. I guess we look at the universe here. Yes, a new beginning. We've completed. Something's been completed and is in the process of being completed here. And I do think it's an integration of sorts, an assimilation, a sort of synthesis that this whole thing, dualities exist everywhere, of course, but in some ways these times have tested us all in the sense of ideally not wanting to be making opinions in a dualist, because opinions, everyone has an opinion, in a dualistic sort of way, that something's either good, bad, right, wrong. I think we need to understand that everyone's on their own kind of track, and we need to pull out of our hats a level of what would you say, accepting that, and kind of, as we see here, your authority is over yourself and your ability to manage your own will and your own mind. That is where your authority lies. I say this because we have the Chariot coming out, wonderful Chariot. And we have the Lovers, which is a choice, ultimately a choice. It can be about romance, of course, and some, depending on what other cards are around it. But it is ultimately a card of choice. It's a card of synthesis, where we where, there's a sacred kind of marriage going on where we balance, we integrate the yin, the yang, it's the dark, the light. There's a synthesis, there's an integration. And with the chariot moves very quickly. He's literally kind of moving. He's propelled himself or herself from the seas of Binah, primordial waters. And there is no harness on these creatures. There is an understanding of balance. And I think the general gist of this is we need to move into and try and instigate that balance, not only within ourselves, but collectively also. I'm just going to get Brian Froud, Pixie and Fairy from the Fairy Oracle deck, which I love this deck. We'll get one card. One card, please. Thank you. One card, please. I'm all over the place. Just one card, please. What can you tell us in this reading that seems to be all about, yet again, all about trying to balance things out? With balance, we get movement, and initially it might be somewhat sporadic movement, but this is a challenge. And it is an initiation. We have the card of initiation. Excuse me. Beautiful singer of initiation. This is like an ace. It comes from the divine. We are in a time of initiation, I do think. With that, speaking of balance, we get Faf the Footer, this gorgeous little character who's on and off, It's like we're on, we're off. The energy is sporadic. It's earthed out, then suddenly it's not. There's an intermittent element to this card, which kind of makes me think of lockdowns coming on, going off, coming on, going off, just in my current environment. So it seems very appropriate, but this is initiatory. And it is for, there's a purpose to it on a very personal, individual level for every human on this planet, and also collectively. On the top of, we get the old gnome, which is the magician, appropriately crouched on top of a globe, having a good laugh, I think, at the moment, or being somewhat amused by this rejigging, whatever. I know all our experiences, there are all commonalities for our experiences here from the journey map. We have faith, and this is understanding that yes, we do have commonalities, that we all walk, we all contain this light, which is life force, like every animal, insect, plant, everything. We contain the same substance. Whatever you want to call it. If your thing is God, whatever God, goddess, whatever goddess is, if you're whatever you want to, whatever track you gives you sustenance in your life. We're talking life force here, which we are all animated by. And this card is about understanding. Therein lies our connection to everything that is, this planet is alive. From micro to macro, the universe. And it suggests that when we really understand this from our heart, that we can meet others on even ground, beyond ego or defense. This is the ideal, isn't it? I guess. So that's quite beautiful. I've got these other cards which are sort of, we're talking love, because I think of love, and especially even in terms of tarot readings, you know, love comes in many forms. And so I'll be using these in the other readings for each sign, but with these particular cards, they're all they've got numbers on the back. We have strong connection. I think we need to understand this. Even, oh look, you know, it's trying. It's a challenge, but strong connection on the bottom. These cards have been well shuffled. Strong connection on the bottom. We have trust your guidance on the top. So that's my reading for you. Thanks for joining me. Collective reading. Clearly, we get what we get on any given day. So for this beautiful new moon in Leo, take good care, and we'll see you for all the other astro signs coming up very shortly. Ka kite, bye.